Feel the floor beneath us starting to vibrate as these 250cc 4-stroke KTM engines roll to a stop and to a momentary halt beneath us. So this is about the point where the young riders, young athletes' adrenaline is starting to spike, but who will remain coolest and calmest and most concise with their start of the race here? We will be watching the lights. The person with at the front of the grid with the red flag, she will depart to the right. The lights will come on and will burst into life here at the Circuito de Jerez. The Red Bull rookies are underway once again here in 2021. It's a heck of a jump start there for the number 39.
What's happened there?
Who was that? That was Bartolomé Perin. Well, where's he gone? Where has he gone, Elliot? Is he just sort of led up the road? I mean, you might as well. That's almost Jorge Lorenzo-esque from Circuit of the Americas back in the day. I mean, goodness me, what a dramatic start we've had already here. It's down into turn one. We're all safely through. I completely missed it. I was looking up the road and I missed where he's gone. Did he stop or something? My goodness.
I have no idea what just happened there, but I've never seen anything quite like that.
That was absolutely extraordinary. I mean, these things happen. Wow, I mean, who's underway? We're at turn 4 already. The super fast sweeping left-hander, you can probably hear in the back of our commentary microphones. They're right behind us. The cork here is not incredibly soundproof, so it is the number 39 of Perrin who leads this race. An extraordinary tale as we begin this one. Where is he?
I can't see it. I thought it was at the front, but that's number 92 Moreira. I tell you what, Matt, it did affect pole sitter David Alonso because he's now 8.
He didn't know what to do, did he?
Because, yeah, he saw all the riders looking like, what's going on? And he got to stop.
There he is, he's on the road, there he is. So that is your race leader. I mean, Diogo Moreira, the number 92, the pole position man before, he is effectively racing for first position. I mean, what a dramatic start this is. That's the number 64 of David Munoz just behind him. And then you've got Ivan Ortola behind him as well. Look at that Holgado. We're trying to make a move up there into turn 9 and turn 10 this complex. I mean, to be honest, Elliot, if I was Bartolomé Perin, I would be fully pinned full gas, because if he gets a good enough one, he could just go through pit lane and still come out in first place. Why not?
100%. He's made the mistake, so now you've just got to deal with it and absolutely go for it. I'm not sure what penalty it is. I think it should be a pit lane penalty, like right through pit lane, so we'll have to come down.
A couple of long lap penalties. I mean, how many does he get given? I mean,
yeah.
Penny for your thoughts, race direction. I hope it's a shame we can't get a camera up there to see the discussions going on about this as they come across the line. Perrin is going to lead the first lap here at the Circuito de Jerez. The Brazilian Diogo Moreira, buoyed by his compatriot Eric Granado, taking the pole position in Moto E. My apologies if I just spoiled it for you. Go back and watch it. It'll make it no less entertaining, I promise. But that's the number 64 of David Munoz, just behind him from Ivan Ortola, Daniel Holgado, the number 95, Colin Vaya, the Dutchman there in 6th place as they came over the line, and David Alonso, the 2-time winner so far, the number 80 in 7th place.
We mentioned David Alonso got a bad start after not knowing what was going on. Farioli, the rookie, also got shuffled down the pack. He's now P10, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screens. And yeah, that's Perrin out front. To be fair, they're catching him quite quickly, the front pack, and the front pack, and now I've got a bit of a gap back to, I think it's Daniel Munoz in the number 7 in 9th place. But yeah, really strange start, Matt. Not sure what went on there. I'm sure we'll find out towards the end of the race. But they've got their heads down now. They're in the groove, and we're coming round to complete half of lap 2.
Yeah, absolutely excellent stuff there. I mean, mate, I'm full support of Mr. Perrin here. I mean, he just needs to give it all he's got. He's being caught by Diogo Moreira. He goes up inside, so he's lost the lead for now then. But let's see how he copes with the rest of the race. And that was absolutely excellent. He sits P25 in the championship at the moment as it is. And oh, what's happened? We've got a red flag. We've got a red flag here situation. So that is the race stopped. So I've not got any indication of any riders having gone down, but let's hope everyone's okay. That's the main thing. Perhaps, well, no, I won't do any sort of conjecture about whether it's to do with the race start that we had there. But, okay, well, Elliot then. A little bit of a false start. We'll be getting underway once again then for this race one here at Jerez. Drama already. I mean, I'm going to take a look at my heart rate for that one, because I think it must have been spiking probably even more than Bartolomé Perin's. Clearly.
Yeah, well, like we said, I really don't know what happened there. I don't think anyone's crashed, like you say, Matt. I can't see from the timing screens that anyone's gone down. So Race Direction must have thought. Obviously, the jump start was the biggest jump start we've probably ever seen, and it did affect the riders off the starting line. So maybe they've thought it's a bit unfair. They'll bring them back in and hopefully get a cleaner start next time around, but we'll bring you more information when we get it. I think, judging from the timing screens, yeah, everyone is back in pit lane, so thankfully no crashes, and we'll hopefully be getting underway shortly.
Well, I've been informed by our chat in our ears, technical problems with the starting equipment is the reason why. Well, here is a replay. Look right at the back there. Off he goes, Bartolomé Perin. I mean, well, we know who the next interview on Jorge Lorenzo's YouTube channel is going to be. 99 seconds special guest with Bartolomé Perin. But could have been, looks like apparently a technical problem, it seems then. He looks behind him and just keep going, pal. I mean, this is the best, lead you've ever had. That was absolutely extraordinary. I mean, what entertainment that was. That is why we love motorcycle racing. These things happen. But I can see, yes, there's a bit of a technical issue with the start equipment. I am seeing some guys at race control on the tower opposite, on the start and finish straight, opposite our commentary position, diagonally. You can see it just to the left of your screen there. Behind the gives you wings transcript there. That's what it says. It's three eyes in it. So they're dealing with those technical issues. We'll be getting underway soon. That's Noah Detweiler. Number 55. We haven't got any information on our timing screen, so I can't really tell you where he finished at the end of that first lap. Race Direction telling us that the race was red flagged due to technical issues with the starting equipment. Well, not seen that for start again. I mean, maybe they should just turn it off and on again. And if that doesn't work, then well, we got plenty of very smart RT guys around the paddock, so I'm sure someone can sort it out. But yeah, Elliot, fantastic. There's Tachkorn Boisri. Don't know how he managed to get up in the opening lap or so. But another rider, though, Tachkorn Boisri, where did he start the race? I didn't know he was overly high up. 17th, so that quite far down. A bit of a surprise. He sits P15. He took the final point in the opening. He's the final rider with a few points in the standing. Sorry, he got 13th position in the first race. Retired from the second back in Portimao. But yeah, wow. I'm a bit stumped. That's really sort of offset my my rhythm, I got to say, that drama.
Yeah, it completely stumped me as well, but these things happen. Technical issues can always happen. The lights are obviously all technical, and everything around the circuit now is technical with the new light panels that we introduced on the Grand Prix scene. But yeah, Tachkorn Boisri, he was 15th in Estoril last weekend, 13th in race 1 in Portimao, and had a DNF in race 2 in Portimao, and sits 14th in the championship. He was 20th in last year's Rookies Cup, so it's his second year. He's got plenty of experience under his belt now, so he'll be aiming for a good race.
There's another replay there.
Again.
I mean, he definitely went when the lights were red, weren't they? So it was quite a long wait, wasn't it? Yeah, there you go. And then they eventually went out. So
I think obviously everyone saw Perrin go past them, obviously confused, and you saw at least the pole sitter David Alonso have a little look, and then the lights eventually went out. But I think obviously the correct thing to do there is Scott Ogden.
Number 19, big Union Jack on his helmet then. He had a good run out at the FIM Junior World Championship last weekend, didn't he? Where did he qualify on the grid? I'm trying to look down at the thing for his name. He was P10 in Estoril, qualified 14th on the grid. So Scott Ogden, a good run out. He's actually teammates in the Junior World Championship to David Alonso and Daniel Holgado, if I'm not mistaken. Is Daniel
that's
Holgado
correct,
the other?
They're all
the
part
Aspar
of
Junior team.
Yeah, Aspar Junior team, that's right. Yeah, Daniel Holgado and David Alonso were on the podium last week, and Scott Ogden didn't get the best qualifying. He said he was quite disappointed, but finished 10th, so definitely by no means a disgrace from the Yorkshireman. And yeah, this is also his second year of Red Bull Rookies Cup action, so it's a big year for Scott Ogden, but he's a very promising young British talent, so everyone from the United Kingdom can get behind him.
Yeah, not the only one as well, as we also have Eddie O'Shea here in the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup this year. Third overall he was in the British Talent Cup last year, going to show, it's not all just about winning the Cups, it's about the riders in these sort of road to MotoGP programs. It is the riders who show the development, the right attitude, the behaviour and the results and the willingness to succeed, all the ingredients that you need to be a successful Grand Prix rider. So he has made it into the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies for this year. Eddie O'Shea qualified down 19th on the grid. He sits P22 in the overall Cup standings, so we'll see how he progresses throughout the rest of the season. But I'm quite excited to see how Scott Ogden gets on. He was the winner of the British Talent Cup in, I might say, sensational style back in 2019. But we did have the notice on our screens there. The pit lane will reopen at 5:30, so in just under 5 minutes time, and we'll have a quick restart procedure. So not too long for you and me to waffle on about things, Elliot, but this is quite difficult for these guys because they're all very young racers, as we know, young athletes. Some of them 14, 13, 15 years, some of them 16 years old. It's quite unsettling to be underway. You're in the groove. You're probably a little bit unsettled already by seeing Perrin fly up the road in front of you, thinking, "Where on earth did he come from? Did I miss something?" But how do you reckon you've got to remain calm and reset your mind back for racing again with this?
Yeah, it's a good point, Matt. I think it's good practice for them, because we do occasionally get red flags and they have to come back in after a couple of laps and gather their thoughts and then restart the race. No one's crashed, no one's injured, so I think they'll be very, very calm back there. It was a technical issue, no one's fault. So yeah, like I say, it would be good practice for them for hopefully when they step up to the Grand Prix scene in future. And yeah, these are all very young riders. They're all learning their trade in the Red Bull Rookies Cup and in the Junior World Championship. A lot of them they were there, as I said, in Estoril last weekend, and 11 of the 15 point scorers were in the Red Bull Rookies Cup. So they race against each other a lot. And yeah, like I say, it'll just be good practice for them to gather their thoughts. There's David Alonso doing just that. He looks calm and collected, the pole sitter. He'll be aiming for a bit of a better start.
And of course, he's not the only Colombian in the paddock here this weekend as well. Yoni Hernandez making a return to the Grand Prix action as well. He's in the Moto E World Cup as well this weekend. So his fellow countryman there. It was how good is this for South America as well? 1 and 3 in the championship. Colombian in first, and Diogo Moreira, the Brazilian, in third. Great stuff for the future of South American motorcycle racing.
Yeah, it really is. It's good to see different nationalities in the Red Bull Rookies Cup. That's part of the whole idea of the Red Bull Rookies Cup. It's not just to give a particular nationality or a particular a continent some growth time. It's like you say, Matt, South America. Then we've got Colin Vire from the Netherlands in 8th, Ogden we've mentioned in 9th, Britain, Matteo Bertelli, Italian, in 11th, Indonesia's Mario Aji, and so on. So yeah, it's a very, very wide range of nationalities, and it's great to see.
Yeah, 16 nationalities in total that we have here in the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup, so a real widespread affair. And also the best part about them all travelling around together as well, in the part of the same, they're in the same bubble here, is that we have under the protocols and the global pandemic. So they all become all like compatriots as well, all chasing that same dream. We just had a look there at Cormac Buchanan, the New Zealand rider, one of the less experienced rider on the grid. Mainly comes from a bit of a pedigree on the dirt back in New Zealand riding speedway. First couple of years riding on the asphalt, absolutely loving life over here in Europe. How about that?
Yeah, it's excellent to see. Well, I was reading one of his blogs on the Red Bull Rookies Cup website, and it was cool to read that he looks up to Francesco Bagnaia in MotoGP because he thinks they have similar riding styles. So hopefully for Cormac Buchanan, he can... I mean, this year's his rookie season, so it's all about learning the tracks, obviously, from New Zealand. He's never raced on any of these circuits before, and Jerez particularly is one of the circuits that a lot of these guys, most of these guys, will know very, very well, especially the Europeans. So yeah, good luck to Cormac Buchanan this weekend. He finished 22nd and 20th in Portimao.
Yeah, good stuff from the New Zealander. Well then, it is getting to, it's 5:29 local time and 6 seconds, so just under 55 seconds time, the pit lane will open once again, and these guys will be heading round to the grid for a quick restart procedure. Looks like we do have all the start technical equipment sorted, and we can go racing once again here. Take 2. But one thing will be for sure, Elliot, we'll be keeping a very close eye on a certain Frenchman, won't we? Hoping that he will not be making the same sort of eager start once again. But absolutely brilliant stuff. That he's got a bit of a, should we say, TV time for some of his personal sponsors on his helmet design. That's good. It's a bit like a cyclist out in the break, isn't it, in the Tour de France and that. So we were on the onboard cameras there. We wait for the riders to get the signal to pit out. Colin Vyers, the number 95, looking very eager. His mechanic just, no, not yet, thank you very much. So there we go then. They're going to be heading out of pit lane and doing their sighting lap. So getting a good view. The green flag waves at the end of pit lane. The grid positions will be based on the original grid. So what happened in the last 2.5 laps or so of action here in race 1, completely forget it. Didn't happen. And then we'll get underway once again. That is the number 29 right there, Harrison Voigt, the former Asia Talent Cup rider, now with Seat 58 Squadra Corsa Junior team in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. ETC? I've got my apologies, Harrison Voigt.
ETC last year and then his debut season this year in the Junior World Championship.
There we are then.
Wouldn't you say, with Seat 58. So if he does well in that championship, which he finished 12th, he was incidentally battling with Noah Detweiler and Scott Ogden over in Estoril. Obviously those two are racing here again. So like we said, Matt, it's a competition where obviously they're competing against each other here, but it's a competition where they know each other very well because they're competing against each other in other disciplines. So yeah, Harrison Voigt is one to watch for sure for the Australian fans out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope you're all tuning in. I wonder how late it is there. Probably, well, quite early in the morning, actually, isn't it? About 10 or so hours ahead. There is Bartolomé Perry, the number 39, who we saw got that fantastic jump start. All part of the learning process. These guys, they are young athletes, but they are not well-seasoned, completely rounded individuals at this point. This is part of the learning programme on the road to MotoGP. This is why the cup is in place to teach them everything. It's all part of the process. So he'll probably, by tomorrow, he'll be laughing at that. If he's not already back in his pit box, having a bit of a chuckle at himself, like, hey, gone down in history with the best start ever.
I'm sure he'll be laughing about it later, obviously depending on his result in race 1. But yeah, the thing is, the Red Bull Rookies Cup and other Road to MotoGP programs, it's where you're learning your trade. You're going to make mistakes. These guys are still youngsters. They're still relatively new to the racing scene. They've obviously done racing for most of their lives, but this is really where it starts to ramp up. The professionalism starts to ramp up. Obviously, Red Bull have got a really, really good structure in place here for these guys. So yeah, they're going to make mistakes, but it's all part of the process.
Better to do it now than when you're in the Moto3 World Championship or Moto2 or MotoGP, that is for sure. Well then, we're going to be getting underway with a quick restart procedure. I've got to admit, not completely well versed on the exact format of that very procedure, but I assume it's going to go rather swiftly indeed, and we'll be back under racing before you know it. That's the main thing. We're on board with David Alonso, your cup leader at the moment. So okay, it is very, very quick indeed. 30 seconds before we then do a warm-up lap, and then we get going once again. So it'll be, that was the sighting lap we just had. This will be the warm-up lap, and then they'll come around and go racing, I believe. Or will it be? Yes, it will be. Yes, warm-up lap. Thank goodness. I'm not completely out of practice with the old quick start procedure. So this is now the warm-up lap. So Elliot, whilst we're on this one, we didn't get much of an opportunity before. We were talking about sort of the cup setup and this and that, but as you pass through the different corners, these are the main overtaking spots. Also perhaps the areas that need to be more cautious, as it's very easy to lose the front end, looking particularly here at turn 2. Very tricky corner.
Yeah, well, turn 1 and turn 2, we've just gone through overtaking hotspots for sure. We'll be definitely seeing some moves there. Turn 3, of course, is where Marc Marquez crashed out last year. You've got to be careful around there. They're two very quick left-handers, and turn 4 we've just been through. Turn 5 might also be a passing move. You won't really see it in the bigger classes, but in the Moto3 class, in the Red Bull Rookies class, we're definitely going to see some moves down here, and obviously down the back straight. Slipstream is going to be coming into effect as we head into the Danny Pedrosa corner at turn 6, Matt.
Very, very aggrieved that they changed the name of that. And not aggrieved that Danny Pedrosa has a corner named after him. I think that's fantastic. Great Red Bull rider himself. However, I think the former name, Dry Sack, was just absolutely sensational. But yeah, some of those down the back straight, you see some of those slipstream moves. They might be the turn 5 moves being undone, you might say, however. But these very, very fast left-handers left-handers. Got to be careful there, particularly on, well, the higher capacity machines. We've seen some accidents there throughout the weekend so far. And coming through turn 8, you could definitely be setting up. This turn 9 here is a very inviting place for an overtake there. As you see Daniel Holgado, the number 96 there, just navigating his way through it. And then out of turn 10 here, we begin the final run and set up for that final main overtaking spot down at turn 30.
Yeah, it's definitely time to grab the popcorn in the last couple of laps when we reach sort of
not for the commentators, but...
well, not for us. Well, maybe. Yeah, when we reach the so-called stadium section towards the end of the lap, because we're definitely going to see some overtaking moves into turn 9. The first left-hander, and then it always happens here. This is the Jorge Lorenzo corner, the final tight turned left-hander. We are definitely going to see some overtaking moves throughout the race there.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that. Roll on 10 laps time when we have the final lap, and hopefully a great big gaggle of riders battling for that first position. This is your pole position man then. The Cup standings leader, David Alonso, lining up on the grid, taking his place. World Cup leader, pole position here. He's got Daniel Holgado second in the Cup standings alongside him. Diogo Moreira, fellow South American, Brazilian rider in third place. Who will get the jump this time around? If last time told you anything, you never know who's going to get the whole shot here in the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup. The lights are about to come on, the revs are up, and we go! It's a great start from just about everybody. I don't think there was any obvious jump starts there, but it's Daniel Holgado who gets the jump on everybody. David Alonso gets shoved out the way by Diogo Moreira, so it's Holgado from Moreira from Alonso as they head into turn 1. Everybody safely through on the inside and out of it, but what about this? The ultra tight turn 2. Some riders leaving the door way open there, although still safely through in out into the more fast and flowing section at turn 3. Daniel Holgado there just exceeding track limits a little bit. Got to be careful, can't do that too many times, Elliot.
No, you can't. Got to watch out for that, because they are going to touch the green a few times. Well, some of them are anyway, and like you say, Matt, Holgado already did it there, but what a great start from the number 96. The perfect launch off the line. Alonso didn't get too bad of a start. He won't be too disheartened by dropping to P3. There's a long way to go. As we come down the back straight, we see the slipstream effect coming into play, and that's the number 92 of Moreira pulling out up the inside, and he will now take the race lead into Danny Pedrosa corner.
Backing it in. Very, very nice style indeed from the Brazilian. That was sensational. And Elliot has been fairly drama-free at the moment. They're just all settling themselves in. That is the number 24, Ivan Otola, just on the back of these guys. So we got a quartet at the beginning there, and I couldn't see just quite behind them. I think that's David Munoz, yes, the number 64, followed by Alex Mian. So some fairly familiar faces here in the lead of the race. But yes, as you rightly said, David Alonso won't be worried about that too much, because if you cast your minds back to race 1 in Portimao, he actually didn't make the jump until about 2/3 distance.
Yeah, he proved in Portimao that he can lead from the front and pull away. He can fight his way through a gaggle of riders. I don't think he was on the first 2 rows in Portimao. I might be wrong there, but he definitely fought his way through the pack. And incidentally, the top 4, Moreira, Holgado, Alonso and Ortolo, were just breaking slightly from 5th place David Alonso, but I think they've just bridged the gap as the pack pile around the last corner to complete lap 1.
How about it then? So Diogo Moreira leads over the line. The number 92 for number 96, Daniel Holgado. David Alonso, P3 for the moment with Ivan Ortola quickly on the chase then. And look at that in the background. David Munoz, well, he wants revenge for those 5th and 4th places. No podiums for him last time out at Portimao. Well, it's blood in the water once again. He sniffs it, and he's on the hunt once again. There he is, the number 64.
Colin Vai got a good start. He's up 3 places into P7 from P10 on the grid. 4th place on the grid. Farioli didn't get the best of launches. He's down to 9th place from 4th on the grid. Who was that just running a little bit wide and getting out of shape there?
I think that was David Munoz. I'm pretty sure it was the number 64. As we see, number 24, Ivan Ortola, make a move up into turn 5. But will his move come undone like we predicted on the warm-up lap? David Alonso in the slipstream just behind him. It's neck and neck. How many abreast do you need down into the Danny Pedrosa corner? Who's going to get the jump? It's Ortola 24 just behind. Holgado leading out of turn 6 then. That was very cleanly done by everybody involved. Diogo Moreira pushed back to 5th.
Yeah, it's almost like we know what we're talking about, Matt, when we predict those passing moves.
For once in my entire 4-year career in commentary.
Yeah, coming down now round turn 8 into the famous stadium section, and the race leader is Daniel Holgado.
That's very tight down there into turn 9 and turn 10, isn't it? Is that 64? Munoz around the inside of him, should I say? That was impressive. And Elliot, I've got to, props to you. Colin Fire there, 7th place at number 95. That was a good start from the Dutchman. How about this? final flowing sector there. Now on the run down to turn 13. We're looking back at Diogo Moreira. Is he going to make a move into the final corner? He's not, but David Munoz is, the number 64. What a recovery up into second place behind fellow countryman Daniel Holgado.
That was a fantastic move. Really took the inside line, got it stopped mid-corner and squirted it up the straight, but I think Ortola, no, not quite. He just had a look there into turn 1, but yeah, the number 64 of David Munoz has made a great start, and now he's got race leader Holgado well in his sights. Holgado leading a race for the second time in 6 days. He was the long-time race leader in the CEV last weekend, sorry. So he's getting used to this, Matt.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And I tell you what, I'm just thinking with 3 weekends on the balance of racing, aren't these guys getting tired?
Probably not.
No, probably not. Absolutely not. I can't get tired of the action either. So, but yes, this is a great way to learn consistently, week in, week out, of racing all these guys there. So we've definitely got a group of top 5. Alex Mian, number 23, on the chase, half a second back in 6th spot. He has been broken by the slipstream effect. Has been broken. He can't catch on to the back of this leading quintet at the moment. But long race to go. Yeah, 8 laps to go with. How fast the lap times? 1:49.6, the best one so far from David Munoz last time around. So still a lot of time left to go.
Yeah, 1:49.6 is only 3/10 off the qualifying pace, so they're really down to business here in the open exchanges. And yeah, the gap between Moreira in 5th and Milan is just creeping up slightly, but these guys are going to be battling out. So if the guys behind can get into a rhythm, don't scrap too much to upset themselves, and they can try bridge that gap. 6/10 isn't a disaster, but they've got to be careful.
Yeah, absolutely have. Well, then we come around. We're going to be approaching the final corner very shortly. I'm looking down on timing screens. The likes of Uriarte down there in 8th place. He's got Aji behind him in 9th. That's a good start from the Indonesian rider, who, maintaining his qualifying and grid position. But behind him, looking at Farioli, who started 4th on the grid, been shoved all the way down to 15th. Elliot, what has happened there? Hopefully we get to see some kind of replay at some point. What a disaster for the Italian rookie.
Yeah, he's been a little bit beaten up there, hasn't he, on the opening couple of laps, but I'm sure he'll regather his thoughts. He's right in the midst of a huge gaggle of riders. This is the Red Bull rookies after all. It always pans out like this. So yeah, I'm sure he'll regather and he'll be getting his head down and learning. It's all about learning. In the middle of the pack, he's going to learn a lot of things. So yeah.
Yeah, good stuff from the rookies. We look at Mario Aji has set the fastest lap of the race so far. There he is, the number 34. Kevin Schwantz-esque is the Indonesian. Super Mario, they call him back home as well. Remember, he's been involved in some hectic fights or 3 leading the field in the Asia Talent Cup over the last several years. Not last year, of course, but before that, thinking about. Well then, the leading quintet heads down once again to turn 6 for nearly 5 abreast. And look at that, Diogo Moreira, the Brazilian, at the inside of his fellow South American David Alonso, pushes him back to 5th place. But I don't think that's going to worry Alonso too much. He's shown, as you mentioned, he can win in any sort of capacity. He waits patiently or he takes off from the front. This is just that.
Yeah, exactly right, man. I know it's early in the season, it's only round 2, race 3, but it's important for Moreira to try and beat Alonso, because Alonso obviously did the double in Portimao. He's 22 clear of Moreira at the early stage, so obviously the riders don't want to let Alonso get too far ahead, because if he gets too far ahead like Pedro Acosta did last year, he's going to end up being uncatchable. But they're keeping it big for now, especially these two at the front, Daniel Holgado and David Munoz.
Doing a great job. The pair of Spaniards, of course, they'll know this circuit like the back of their hands. Every little hair coming out of there on their knuckles, every little vein, and Munoz nearly using that knowledge to his full effect as he looked at the inside of Holgado there, but thought the better of it that time around. Do I see a few bike legs there between the top duo and the chasing pack of Moreira, Ortola and Alonso?
Yeah, we definitely do, but incidentally, well, I was going to say Moreira set the fastest lap of the race, but Uriarte in 7th have just gone even quicker, and that time would have put him on pole position.
Wow, how about that then? Yes, the lap time's getting quicker and quicker. The last quickest rider that time around was actually Marcos Uriarte, who we've not really spoken too much about so far. He's down in 7th place. He set a 1:49.2, a whole tenth and 1.5 tenths quicker than the 3rd place man, Diogo Moreira. So we could see, Elliot, 6 laps to go. We could see this leading duo turn into a leading quintet once again, and potentially even more down to the top 10.
Yeah, we really can, but these leading duo are now over half a second clear of 3rd place Diogo and Moreira. So, like I said before, Matt, they've got to be careful not to trip over each other too much, like I'm tripping over my words.
It's just a perfect description, Elliot. It's just the beautiful metaphor.
Yeah, I meant it.
That's a sign of a great commentary right there as we now enter the next fast and flowing section there. Will they be setting up for an overtake as they come through turn 8 here into towards turn 9? Munoz could have a look. He does. He likes to cut a more inside line, doesn't he? But we're getting a focus shot there on David Alonso. They have now caught up onto the back of the leading duo once again. So once more, we are a quintet. What are we about to see here? This is David Alonso moving up the inside of Ivan Ortola. Perfect slow motion shot then from the cameraman. Props to them. Excellently shot, and Ivan Ortola just tucks his right foot in just in time for David Alonso before he shoves it out of the way. And how about this then? Look at this leading group. They've all joined onto the back once again, Elliot. I'll be interested to see. Keep an eye on the lap times, would you, as they come across the line. Live timing once again. So it's Holgado who still leads with 5 laps to go.
Yeah, what's this lead group now? I think it's up to 11, down to Matteo Bertelli, and Oriate again sets the fastest lap of the race in 7th place. So the number 89 is on the charge. He's just there in behind Ortola. There he is. We've just spoken to a new best race lap. So that's a new best race lap throughout the history of the Red Bull rookies. That's just how quick we're going here on Saturday afternoon in Andalusia.
Absolutely brilliant stuff. These rookies, ultra competitive as they are every single season. Whoever wins here could join the likes of Lorenzo Savadori, former Moto3 world champion Danny Kett, Bo Ben Snyder, and also certain MotoGP world champion Joan Mir. So it's a lot on the line. A bright future awaits potentially for the winner here in the race. And look at this, 4, 5 abreast as they break down into turn 6. David Alonso moves up a few places. He takes second now, and he's looking back at David Munoz, but it's still Holgado just leading this supremely.
Yeah, I spoke to John McPhee and Jeremy Alcoba earlier after the Moto3 qualifying, and they both mentioned how important the last 5 laps of a race is. I know this race is a little bit shorter than the Moto3 World Championship, but we're coming into the closing stages, and they both said...
Who's that making a big move up the inside? It's Uriarte. Welcome back to the action, Marcos. Absolutely excellent stuff. Sorry, I interrupted you there. It does get a bit more juicy this time around. Coming from 2 Moto3 riders, they're absolutely right. They know that better than anyone, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. They've raced around here tons of times before, across all disciplines. John McPhee is obviously really experienced, so he knows what he's talking about as we now come into the Jorge Lorenzo corner.
Holgado guards his line once again, but Munoz is able to cut that inside one a little bit more cleanly. They come out then, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 riders in this leading group then, it seems, or maybe my maths is a little bit dodgy. They all do come across the line then. Who's down the back line? Is it Angie? So it is 10 riders in this leading group then. The number 34, the last one, the 2-second gap back to Bertelli, the number 28 behind him. And it's spicing up as we see the number 7, that's Daniel Munoz. David Munoz, just to make it easy for us, started with P7 on the grid. Daniel Munoz is the number 7 in the field. So he makes a move up the inside then. That was Colin Vire. He was overtaking the Dutchman.
Yeah, they're not brothers either. There's no relation. They're just here to make commentators' lives a little bit more difficult. But yeah, that was a great move from the number 7, Daniel Munoz. There you go, slipped up again. But as we come down the back straight, it's still Holgado leading. He's doing really well to hold off the competition, but I'm not sure how long that will be for. Yeah,
absolutely. Breaking down into turn 6, Diogo Moreira has made a bid for the lead, and he takes it supremely. What a great overtaking move that was. Does run a little wide on exit, but guards his line, maintains enough acceleration and momentum to keep that first place through turn 7. But what a race we have going on here, and this is the point, Elliot. You and me were chatting yesterday about this very race. Would you believe it? Commentators trying to organise what they're going to say, and this is about the stage in the race when it gets a little bit more frisky. Case in point right there. Ivan Ortola up the inside at turn 9. Look at this huge leading group. This is what it's all about. I can't wait for 4 laps time as we come through. That was turn 11 we're going through now, then turn 12, and then there's going to be some wild moves going into turn 13.
Yeah, just over 3 laps left, and it's really starting to heat up now here in Jerez. Are we going to see a move at the last corner? I don't think we are. Ortola's just showing a wheel, but not quite. But yeah, we've got I think it's a lead group of 10 riders, and any one of them could win this race as Agi moves up to P8 ahead of Daniel Munoz. So Daniel Munoz's progress is a little bit halted by the Indonesian.
Somagorbe has crashed now. He's the first crasher of the day. That's a real shame to see in the number 42, but he's up there and okay, thankfully. Somagorbe, the number 42, former Northern Talent Cup champion with the most wins there last year in the debut season. Their series gets underway next time at the MotoGP as a race weekend at Le Mans, so you don't really want to be missing that. Here's what happened to him. Oh, just slips off in the background there, but fortunately okay. A couple of tumble rolls. He'll be absolutely fine, and even trying to run back to his bike to get straight back on it. Good on him.
Yeah, that's the classic turn 9, took the front, and down you go. Good to see Somo Gorbe back up on his feet. A very easy mistake to make.
Oh, wow, look at them go over track limits onto the green stuff, down the start and finish straight. That is hairy, hairy stuff. Who's in the lead there? Oh, who's that? Is that David Munoz pushing Ivan Ortola wide? Who's the main beneficiary? I think it is Daniel Holgado once again. That got a bit hairy, Elliot.
It really did, and like we say, Matt, the Daniel Pedrosa corner is going to host passing moves every single lap now, with 3 to go, well, 2.5 laps to go, as Ortola makes a diving move at the inside of David Munoz into turn 8. A great move.
It's really interesting to see the pace has absolutely plummeted in 150s now, and that won't be anything to do with tyre degradation over a 10-lap race. That is simply a massive group of riders all jostling for position. With 3 laps to go, they all want to be near those front positions and trying to be guarding their lines, make sure no one's going to take a potential podium away from them.
Yeah, if no one's seen the Red Bull Rookies Cup before, this is exactly how it is every single one, not every single race, but most races. It's an absolutely enthralling fight, as even Ortola looks like he's going to lead. No, not quite this lap.
How about that from Holgado?
Yeah, that last corner is going to host some dramatic moments, but Holgado is looking really good here. He's not breaking away, but he's looking really strong on the front.
I'm pretty sure I just saw over the curbs Ivan Ortola as David Munoz, the corner speed he was carrying there, just overly ambitious. Casey Stoner would say there, your ambition outweighed your talent, mate, because that was way wide. But I'm pretty sure I saw Ivan Ortola shake his head. Oh, as we got a crash at the background there. Oh, is that the Austrian rider there that's gone down? I saw a Jakob Rosenhaler with the Austrian flag on his helmet. I think he was down in the gravel, but both riders getting up and okay.
Yeah, it's Eddie O'Shea, I think, the other rider.
Oh, that's what a disappointment that is. But yeah, saw Ortola shake his head, and his move was thwarted by Daniel Holgado in the final corner then, so at least he knows what to do next time around, carry a bit more corner speed. So down the straight they come once again into Danny Pedrosa corner. How many abreast this time? Oh, it was rather sedate that time around, wasn't it?
It was still 3 abreast though, and I think it's Ortola who has now got the lead, so he won't be shaking his head for much longer. That was really, really close between David Munoz and Holgado. Thankfully they both stayed upright, but that was really, really tight as Ortola now leads the race, and that is close again.
Yeah, no need to paint swap, boys. You've all got the same livery. It's absolutely fine, no need, but we absolutely love it anyways. Munoz up the inside of Holgado once again, and look at who's waiting to pick up the pieces, potentially the World Cup, the Rookies Cup standings leader, David Alonso, waiting patiently in 4th place. Elliot, this is the dress rehearsal, penultimate lap. Let's keep an eye on what they do in this final sector then, on the run down to turn 13. The dress rehearsal, who's going to get it this time around?
Your guess is as good as mine, Matt. Well, you mentioned David Alonso, but we've not mentioned him much this race, but he's still there. Ortola goes to the inside.
He tries it, but another one just moves around the inside. He can hold a great inside line, but whoever manages to go around the outside manages to maintain that corner speed and stop him in his tracks. Here it is then. The 1 lap to go here in race 1, and look at that, Daniel Munoz, who's in the back of this group, or is he? I think he is, yes, P6. He's got a track limits warning, so he's got to be careful, especially on this final lap, because he might lose a place for it. So who's leading as we come into this? David Munoz from Ivan Ortola. Marcos Uriarte, what a race he's played so far. He crossed the line in 3rd place leading there, but he's been pushed back by Daniel Holgado.
Yeah, this is important now, because David Alonso's down in 7th, the Cup standings leader. Might not get on the podium here, and they've got a bit of a gap, the top 3 behind, so this now, the drag down to Danny Pedrosa corner is going to be absolutely vital. Ortola is going to tuck right in behind David Alonso, hopefully pull out the slipstream for Ortola's sake. There he is. Will he be able to make a move, and will Daniel Holgado, the number 96, make a move?
He certainly is down into turn 6, and Ivan Ortola, he does make a move up the inside of Munoz, but will he hold it? That's the question. Interestingly enough, Diogo Moreira's managed to catch on to the back of these guys, but he hasn't made... Is he close enough for any final corner moves?
I'm sure he think he will be, Matt. Yeah, we're coming into the stadium section now, and it's Holgado who leads. David Alonso's down in 7th, so he's got some work to do in the final sector, or final couple of sectors, to make up some ground.
Munoz on the inside of Ortola. That is very tight then. So we begin. That's one of the main overtaking spots. There's one more left. It's turn 13, and we begin the real flowing section. 2 ultra-fast right-handers. Holgado, he's played a blinder in this race. One down, and another one to go. And then who's going to be the last of the late breakers in the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup? They break. It's 3 abreast. Munoz on the inside. Holgado, is he going to make it? Yes, but Ortola's got the drive. Who's going to get it? Oh my goodness me! Paint swapping, elbow barging. Who's going to get the slipstream? Will it be Munoz? It is! He wins from Ortola. What a race that was. From Moreira in third, Holgado, who I thought played the biggest blinder of them all. He absolutely hoodwinked everybody, but no, he finished fourth place. Uriarte fifth, Alonso in sixth. My goodness, I'm exhausted.